Hey guys. All right, so I told you that I figured out a number of things that they're doing, and now that there's a lot more out, a lot more details, it makes it much easier to explain it to you so that I don't sound like a raving conspiratorial lunatic. So, wrote a few things down, but these are just little notes that to give you an idea of what we're going to go over when I post the next video, which will be, today is July 5th, 2024, and I will post the next video July 6th, which is going to be tomorrow, Saturday. But the main thing to go over is that what these people are trying to install is a monarchy, okay? A monarchy is based on democracy, but basically it's deception, lies, and illusions. So all they're doing is they're playing head games with us, and they also include a behavioral conditioning system, which is where the pressure and the hostilities are coming from. So I'm going to explain how that works on all of us as well, okay? Aside from that, basically there's a few things we're going to do, but the biggest one is we're going to start playing a game that I call Defending Democracy. It's in 3 parts. First part is going to be a systems checker. So I'm going to show you how our democracy is supposed to work. Now it actually works very well, if you know how to actually engage with it. So maybe that's the thing that people are missing. So the second part is going to be the reversal of polarity game. That's where the schemes are. So I'm going to show you what schemes I figured out, and we're going to figure out which ones truly are tied to the ones at the top. Because see, that's who I'm looking for. I'm the kind of person that have a tendency to like to find the boss when I have a problem, so that I can explain what my issue is and get it to stop. And I've honed that skill very well. So I figured out a little game where we're going to figure out exactly who they are. Now, a lot of them are tied to Steve Bannon. So, I found 13 schemes. And those 13 schemes not only include President Trump, not all of them though. So, that said, I bet there's a billionaire out there that would love to tell the truth if it keeps them out of prison. So, how about we figure out who those are? Now, the third part of the game, once we flip the board, third part of the game is called Defending Democracy. And that's where we all help, okay? So that said, I've got some other things that I need to do. I need to finish painting the wall that the game is going on, so that's what I'm working on right now. But one more thing. Okay, now the Supreme Court. Let's put it like this. I just Googled the following question. Not that I didn't know the answer, but I just needed to be reminded. Can the Supreme Court overturn one of its own verdicts? This is the answer, and this actually comes from the supremecourt.gov. When the Supreme Court rules on a constitutional issue, that judgment is virtually final. Its decision can be altered only by the rarely used procedure of constitutional amendment or by a new ruling of the court. Now, I want to remind you, it says the court. That doesn't mean that the people who are sitting in those chairs have to stay there. So we're not going to wait until we have to keep playing this, we have to get only this particular type of person to be the president, only from this party. No. We're not doing all that. Here's what we're going to do. We are going to ask them politely to fix what they broke. And if they're not going to do it, then we will ask them to leave. Now, that may sound very simple, and you guys are like, oh, they're never going to do that. Okay. It has to be done that way, though, because we're dealing with entitled people. So you guys have to understand how rich people think and how they flow. So we're going to ask them to leave nicely. But I have a specific way that we're going to do it. Okay, and that we'll work on that next week, and I'll give you more details as we get closer to actually doing it. But before that, I'm going to make sure that you guys know exactly how our democracy works. And then we are going to start figuring out from there what our collective problems are. Because it's one thing for us to get together and vote a bunch of people out. But if we're voting people in, they need to know what needs to be done to fix everything that we're all complaining about. So not just one community, not just one small group. No. We're going to fix all the stuff that every time a Democratic administration comes in, they start to fix. And then what happens is the Republicans fool you guys into thinking, oh, we have to get the budgets under control. No. We have to have you guys stop allowing your friends to get all kinds of subsidies and tax cuts that mess up our economy. That's the budget we need to get under control. The rich people, okay? And I want to make this very clear. We are not attacking rich folks just because they're rich, okay? In this country, it's okay. It's fine. Whatever you want to do, you make money legally, you make money how you do it, that's fine. Just pay your taxes and leave us alone, all right? Don't mess with us. Don't start telling us how we're supposed to live and all kinds of stuff when you are not even attached to our reality. You see, this is the problem with rich folks that have way too much time on their hands and who are greedy and are trying to figure out, I'm not making, I need $1 billion to shoot myself off into space. So I've got to steal it from the rest of them. Anyway, we're going to figure out exactly what our problems are and we're going to get them fixed. It's not going to take a lifetime at all. We just have to have the right people at the right time with a president who knows what buttons to push and which levers to pull. Because that's what we have right now. President Biden, I want to remind you, no one would have a problem if President Biden was JFK, was he? Would they? I mean, JFK at an older age, this is what we have. Now, he has a little bit of a stutter, but give me a break. There's a lot of things that we don't know about a lot of people and the things that they can and can't do. One thing I do know that this president can do is A, tell the truth, B, fix shit. Okay, and that's what he's been doing this whole time. Everything that he said he was going to do, he has kept his word. So I trust him. I have no problem whatsoever voting for him and speaking out for him, especially when people are bullying him. Because we don't send smart, good people to Congress, to the Senate, on the bench, or to the White House, or even in any of our other institutions. We don't send smart, good people there for them to be bullied and attacked on a regular basis. Because why? Smart people really don't like to be bothered with that kind of crap. So that's why they do it. So we need to start making sure that our people, the regular folks that work for us, work for our government, and that includes all of the people who we elect, they are not there to go into some kind of gladiator's dome. And when it comes to a president, this crap about him being too old, let me remind you of something. Better yet, let me just ask you this. Why are you so worried about him being old? Okay? I've watched him now. The debate, I saw that. But what I did see, okay, aside from him being a little tired and just a little caught off guard at the fire hose of lies he was being spread with, and of course, the moderators of CNN did nothing. Nothing to say, hey, wait a minute. This is going in a different direction. We need you to answer the questions. And all we're doing is trying to have an exchange of ideas here. No, that's not what he had. He had two moderators that sat there like they were on the Hunger Games. And they were watching as one guy tells nothing but lies. Everything out of his mouth was a lie, and I didn't do it. Okay? Wasn't me. So I have no problem with our president. But I want you to just ask yourself, why are you worried about him being old? Aside from, okay, he could die. Yeah, but so could anybody else. You know that. We all know that. Is he off his rockers? No. That man is sharp as a tack. Are you expecting him to go like duke it out with people? Because that's not what a president does. So what is the problem with his age? If that is a major problem for you, then you really don't understand how this system works. We do like our elder statesmen to actually be involved. Why? Because they have the wisdom and the knowledge to know when not to start a war, when not to bully another country, when to apply so much pressure that he's got his knee on Putin's neck and Putin can't do shit. That's what we need. We need someone that knows how to run this country and to keep us safe. That's what President Biden is. However, if he's constantly under attack and all of them are constantly under attack, it's very hard to see everything, okay? Remember, President is not God. President is not a king. The president is one of us, one of the regular folks that we send to handle the business of the country. He's doing a great job, and it makes me so mad knowing that these people have prevented all of us from enjoying these past 3 years of actual prosperity. If someone is having a hard time with it, I get that. I get your need to actually find a solution for your problems. But you can't take a solution that destroys the rest of us just so you can have whatever it is you're looking for. Because most of the time, the people who are complaining the most are the rich people, because they can't get loose and exploit us. So please, just everybody take a breath, all right? We have a bunch of criminals who are trying to work their way back into our government. We have people who are lawless, which from this point forward, I'm going to be calling pirates, okay? Lawless people with no love of country. Those are the pirates. We're going to create some stereotypes based on content of character, not the crap that they've been doing to us for so long, okay? Those of you who, regardless of your ethnicity, it requires two groups of people for racism to work. So we're going to put an end to all of that. Now, I can't do anything about people's prejudices or bigotry because that's just natural with us. It's the heightened stoking of fears constantly that creates the hatred, because hatred cannot be sustained. You think about it. You get into a fight with someone, what happens? After that fight's over, give it a day or two, calm, right? You don't constantly hate that same person, except for maybe if you come into contact with them and they've done something specific to you. But overall, you don't hold on to it, you move on. They're forcing us to constantly fight with one another. And the way they're doing it is with a behavioral conditioning system. And that's what that racism, sexism, and classism, especially the very toxic version of it that you're seeing from our MAGA folks, that's very specific, okay? That is the behavioral conditioning system. That's their part of it. But I'll explain. It has a very specific way that it works, and it can actually be dismantled. So I have no problem doing that, and I know how to do it. That said, I can't do it by myself. That means all of the rest of you have to help, okay? But if you want to end this, and you want our country to move forward, where we're all being able to engage and benefit and thrive in this democracy. Because the promise of America is that we get to be ourselves, okay? We don't have to fight to be who we are, we can just be. We've had a number of years where we've come out of that haze of hatred and bigotry and racism and just straight up sexism, classism, racism everywhere. We've come out of that. That's the reason why it's very difficult for them to get it back. So I'll be talking to you guys a little. I'm going to go back to my little game here and finish putting it up. But just know, we the people, as long as we all work together, we can get this done. And we can get it done quickly. We have a government filled with people willing to enforce the laws and to protect us. But they just have to know what we need. So we're going to give them that and give them the opportunity to show us how they can protect us, okay? So don't worry. All of us, we can all do this, okay? Every last one of us. If you really want a great country, we can do this. We just have to do it together. See you later.